She told him he couldn't afford it. Minutes later, he purchased the 1.6 billion company. They said he didn't look like someone who could afford anything in this building. They said his clothes were too simple, his presence too ordinary, and his skin tone, well, that was the only thing they really saw. But what they didn't know was this. The man they tried to humiliate was minutes away from owning something worth more than their entire lives combined. A decision he had already made before even walking into the lobby. A decision that would shake every person who judged him in those first few seconds. Because sometimes, the world has no idea who it is making fun of. It was a bright morning inside the most expensive corporate tower in the city. Employees rushed around, dressed in designer suits, carrying gold-trimmed name tags, acting like royalty. The atmosphere inside the lobby screamed money. Polished marble floors, glass elevators, and security guards standing stiff like statues. And right there, in the middle of all that luxury, a black man stepped inside. Simple clothing, a calm walk, a leather folder in his hand. Instantly, eyes turned cold. Two receptionists exchanged smirks. A security guard narrowed his eyes, scanning him up and down. A group of employees whispered loud enough for him to hear. "Wrong building." Probably looking for some other place. People like him don't come here to buy. They come to look. He ignored every whisper and walked toward the front desk. The manager, a woman known for her arrogance, expensive perfumes, and even more expensive attitude, stepped in front of him. "Yes?" she said sharply. "What exactly do you want here?" He politely replied, "I'm here for the 27th floor meeting." She laughed loud. "Meeting? With who? You don't look like someone who has business up there." Before he could speak again, she raised her hand, stopping him mid-sentence. "No, listen, let's not waste each other's time. Whatever you're here for, you can't afford it." People around them chuckled softly. Security moved closer. Someone even recorded the moment, hoping for drama. The black man stood calm, breathing evenly, as if none of the insults touched him. He opened his leather folder slightly, and for a second, just a second, the corner of a document shined in the light. The manager noticed. Her eyes squinted. "You carrying papers won't change anything. This building hosts real buyers. Real money, not..." She stopped just before saying the word she fully intended. He looked straight at her. Not angry, not offended, just disappointed. "If you knew what those papers were," he said quietly, "you'd want to rethink what you just said." The manager scoffed. "Oh, please, don't act like you're someone important. The cheapest office in this building costs more than your entire life savings." The employees laughed. Security stepped closer. One guard muttered, "Sir, I think it's time for you to leave." But the man didn't step back. He didn't raise his voice. He simply said one sentence. A sentence that silenced the entire lobby for a moment. "Is that how you treat the person who's about to make the biggest purchase this tower has ever seen?" The manager blinked, confused, thrown off for the first time. "What purchase?" she asked. The man closed the folder slowly, calm, confident. "You'll find out," he said. "But not from me." The elevator dinged behind him. Executives, real ones, stepped out and looked directly at him. One of them said loudly, "Sir, we've been waiting for you. The $1.6 billion briefing is ready." Gasps exploded across the lobby. Phones dropped. Whispers froze. Even the manager stepped back, her face draining of color. But this wasn't the real reveal. This was just the beginning. The entire dealership went silent. Employees whispered behind their desks as the woman, Ms. Carla, the senior sales manager, blocked the doorway with her arms crossed, still smirking. "Are you still here?" She scoffed. "We don't have layaway plans for luxury cars. Go try the used lot across the street." People in the lobby chuckled under their breath, but the man she was humiliating didn't react. He simply looked around the showroom, as if he was studying it, as if he knew something they didn't. Carla stepped closer, lowering her voice but raising her arrogance. "Listen, sweetheart, our cars start at $300,000. You can't even imagine numbers like that." But then, something changed. The assistant, the young employee who had treated him with respect earlier, ran toward them, out of breath. "Ma'am, you need to see this," he stammered, holding a tablet. Carla rolled her eyes, grabbed the screen, and her face drained of all color. Her smirk collapsed. Because right in front of her, on the screen, was the breaking business news alert. Her dealership, her boss, her entire company had just been sold, purchased, acquired, bought out, by him, the same black man she had just humiliated. Her hands shook as she looked up at him, suddenly unable to breathe. You're him?" He finally spoke. calm, low, controlled. I tried to tell you I wasn't here to buy a car, he said. I was here to buy the company. Gasps exploded around the lobby. The assistant whispered, the $1.6 billion deal. It was him all along. Carla's knees went weak. Suddenly, the man who didn't look rich was the new owner of the entire corporation. She stumbled forward, trying to correct her mistake. Sir, Mr. Jordan, I didn't mean... It was just a misunderstanding. He held up his hand. No, you meant every word. Her eyes flooded with panic as security and corporate lawyers entered with folders. He looked her directly in the eyes for the first time. You judge me by my skin, he said quietly. But today, you answer for it. The assistant stepped beside him, the same young guy who respected him earlier. Jordan looked at him and smiled. You start on Monday, he said. Assistant regional manager. The kid's jaw dropped. Carla collapsed into a chair. Her badge was taken, her login revoked, her desk emptied. She wasn't just fired. She was escorted out of the building she once ruled. As Jordan walked through the glass doors, employees stood straighter. Whispers of "that's the new owner" spread like wildfire. And for the first time in that dealership, people saw what respect truly looked like. Because he didn't just buy a car. He bought the entire $1.6 billion company. Minutes after she told him he couldn't afford anything,